Censure and Pullman on W4CY Radio.
This is the Pipe Man here on the Adventures Pipe Man W4CY Radio, and I'm here with...
This is Zach.
Nathan.
And Brandon.
Where? Fox Lake.
Hey, it's Fox Lake.
That was a good way to do it. I liked it. Okay, first I want to just go off your shirt. I just saw them the other day here at Louder in Life, and they were fucking killer.
Yeah, these are some of probably our best friends in bands. We toured with them, and the drummer, Connor, he is kind of like a little bit of our fourth member. He writes and records our music and has since we were a band, so love everybody in that band, yeah.
Very cool. And then I'm going to go to your hat, and I have a question for you. Because I'm from New York and New Jersey.
Okay.
And I go all over the world, and everybody wears Yankee hats. So, are you actually a Yankee fan, or are you just sporting the hat?
Anyway, let's move on to the next one. What's a follow-up question that you got for me?
As long as you're not a Mets fan. Okay. So, you're here at Louder in Life. How badass is that?
It's the coolest thing in the world. We've done a handful of these a couple of years ago, and every time we pull up, it's just the most exciting. Getting to see all the buses, all the semis, getting to see bands walking around, like physically bumping into heroes of yours at catering and stuff. It's just the coolest thing in the world.
And then every time you've been here, it's gotten bigger and bigger, right? You know?
Yeah, I think this is like the biggest here, right? Like this is the record-breaking.
Yes. 2 days ago was announced. Like 2 days in, it was announced the biggest rock festival in the United States.
That's so cool. Yeah, we're honored to be here, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And what I always like to ask the bands, and you've had a few experiences, how does Danny Wimmer treat you as an artist?
We haven't met him personally, but it's like the whole experience is catered towards the artist, for sure. Like, we feel very well taken care of anytime we play one of these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. And, like, everybody I've ever talked to in 16 years never has anything bad to say. And that's so important to me because you come into a festival, it's not really your venue, it's not really your stuff, and it can be super fucking stressful, to be honest.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
And that's not good for a set. I find a lot of artists tell me, like, it's so stress-free that they really can have fun when they get up on stage.
100%. Yeah, it shows, yeah.
And that's key. If you're not having fun, I'm not having fun.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can see it. So, I was listening to your newest music. It's pretty fucking badass, just to be blunt. Okay, I'm just going to be blunt about
Hell
it.
yeah.
There's your bumper right there.
I know, right? So, tell us about the new music and how you think it has evolved from your beginning.
Good question. It was like kind of the first time that we set out with a specific sound in mind. We have collections of music previously. Some people are calling it like New World Heat is our sophomore album, but we are kind of looking at it as our debut album just because this is the first time we had intention on setting out writing music with a purpose. And yeah, we tried a lot of stuff that we haven't done previously, and I think it shows. And we had a blast writing it, and it comes across in the record.
See, I love hearing that, too, because especially the fact that you consider it your debut, because what that tells me is you finally found who you guys want to be as artists.
100%.
What do you think prompted that to get to that point now? What road did you go through to get to the point where you finally found your sound?
Yeah, I feel like we went through, a lot of shows and a lot of touring. The main thing I think that really led to the sound was seeing what worked in previous releases, like in EPs, and then also just revisiting something like a few years after you write it and put it out, you kind of get fresh ears on it of like, who do we want to be, and did this fit and did this not fit, and maybe this was popular a few years ago, but it's not popular now, and really just what do we want to be. And I think it was easy to like implement the things that we wanted to add in and then just pick and choose the things that we had already been doing. And yeah, it was just kind of a perfect storm of tweaking the sound in certain ways to be exactly what we wanted it to sound like and have the intensity that we wanted to have, and we couldn't be more proud of the record.
And what were the components of it that make it your sound now compared to previous music you've put out? What do you think are the ideas, the concepts, the creativity, the experimentation that led to that?
Well, for me, for the lyrics, it was a lot more directly written to be a little more nu metal rather than more kind of hip hop verses. So that was a big thing for me, while keeping kind of like, we've always had one-liners and call-outs for the breakdown and everything, but I think writing things in a way that wasn't necessarily verse, chorus, like kind of a rapping verse and a screaming chorus, and more focused on a nu metal style of music was definitely something for me.
Cool. Do you guys have anything you want to add?
For me, instrumentally, I think the difference between the first couple of EPs to this record was those EPs were written to keep the band floating. We needed more music to be able to play live. We needed more music to be able to release, and it was always kind of like, yeah, like we'll go up, we'll write some songs, we're happy with them, and I truly, like to this day, I'm very happy with almost our entire discography, but getting into the studio for this album specifically was so much more intentional, and we took like 4 or 5 weeks of pre-production and writing, and then we had, I think, like 5 weeks of recording, just going over everything with a fine-tooth comb and making sure that it's exactly what we wanted to present, and also having a full track list as opposed to 4 songs.
Yeah.
We felt like we could kind of stretch our legs a little bit more into, it's okay to have this kind of heavy song because that doesn't define the record if it's 25% versus if it's 10%.
Yeah.
So being able to do a little bit more of everything because you can pad the track list with all the different kind of sounds and things, your influences that you're trying to present, versus being like, we've only got 4 songs, we have to make sure that it's this specific thing. So that really, just made space for us to write in a different way and to present the music in a different way that's really exciting for us.
I think that's a great answer right there, because I don't think most people realize that they think it's easier to write an EP than an album, and you're proving differently.
Obviously, there's pros and cons for everything. Only having a couple of things you're responsible for is easier overall and takes less time and money and stuff like that, but being able to not have to worry about cutting out ideas nearly as much and shaping something to be a full presentation as opposed to like, here's a handful of songs, was really exciting, and it gave us a lot more room.
And the key word that floated in my head is that experimentation. Mm-hmm. You can't really experiment on an EP, but you can on an album, and I think all artists should experiment.
100%.
Do you have anything else you want to tell the listeners that we haven't covered already that they need to know, number one? Number two, tell them your socials, your web, and how they buy your merch, because they can't listen to my show unless they buy your merch.
Sure. It's a good rule. FxckBand.com. We've got all of our tour dates on there. After Louder Than Life, we've got about a month of headliner shows with Kawanashi, Desmadre, Teeth, Freak, and Extortionist. I think that's how.
What a lineup.
Surface, thank you. I know there was one more in there. That'll be 9/26 to 10/19, and then we'll be home for a while, and then out with the band Greyhaven from mid-November to mid-December. So come check out a show.
Nice. Well, you guys are fucking here at Louder Than Life, and to me, your music's louder than life. And thanks for being on the Adventures of Pipe Man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipe Man on W4CY Radio.